afternoon, everyone. I'm Zach Dresch.
I'm Ryan Howe.
And you're listening to
The December Crimes.
December Crimes.
Dresch Code.
Dresch Code. Episode 17, we answer life's most important questions from this bucket or jar or jucket, which I swear is not a derogatory term.
It can be if you wanted to.
Yeah, but we don't, not in this society.
Oh.
So episode 17, we've reached that milestone. It's a great milestone to be at. Usually seasons are like 22 episodes. Friends had a lot of 24 episode seasons.
Sure.
A lot of seasons.
A lot of seasons, too. Too many.
Too
many.
Agreed.
Should have cut it off after 5.
After the break episode.
That was it. When Ross and Rachel broke up, just
End it. We don't need to see them going back and forth together.
no.
We get it.
We don't need to see Joey and Rachel.
End the madness.
End it.
Oh yeah, Joey and Ray, like it was like a fucking Rubik's Cube. Like
Yeah.
everybody like
like,
somehow, yeah, okay, who's gonna be together?
Phoebe and Monica? What? All right, anyways.
And then the last shot of the whole series was a frickin' door.
Yep.
That's my issue.
It's a frame.
Yeah.
Confession. Rob has never actually watched Friends.
The frig!
Both of them have watched Friends.
You ever seen?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite
Not
show.
the whole thing. I had to tap out.
Never got into it. No.
I've seen a lot
There
of...
have been so many goddamn pop cultural references that I get all the fucking jokes about it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, pop culture for the last decade. But yeah, I've never actually watched the show.
Yeah. Did you hear that Netflix was originally going to take it off, but then they canceled Daredevil and spent $100 million to keep Friends on Netflix?
Not worth it.
Well, that was unrelated. It was unrelated. That was because of the whole Disney is taking all their toys and going home to their own Disney Plus.
That's
streaming
about as
service.
unrelated as USF selling the radio station and then getting $1.3 million.
Yeah.
It happens.
For the
And the football
sports
team getting new jerseys. I'm not bitter.
If you're from USF and you're watching
Well.
and you're offended, I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Oh, I'm not either. Let's go around the round circle, table, round couch,
Round
and
couch.
introduce everyone who will be a part of episode 17. Comedian, writer, Justin Gray, extraordinaire. Thanks for being on the
Thank you.
show. How are you this evening?
Fantastic. How about you, Zach?
Doing fantastic.
All right.
Doing quite well.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Writer, author, poet, Robert Sweeney. Thank you for being on the show. How are you this evening? Extraordinaire.
Extraordinary.
We're all
you.
extraordinary.
Appreciate that. I'm great. Thank
We're all
you.
extraordinary in this room right here. So,
Extraordinary.
good friend of mine and proclaimed by me, Owl City aficionado, Sage Stansel. How are you this evening, Sage?
You specifically asked how not to
And I
fuck
fucked it up.
And then you fucked it up.
Oh no.
It's the energy drinks I had today. It was.
What were they?
You asked about the last name. You didn't
Like 3 days from now, he's
clarify.
gonna kill someone with his car, and he's gonna be like, "It was the I drank like 3 days ago. I'm just out of my mind."
Sorry.
It's
Okay.
still vehicular homicide, sir.
Zach's just driving down the I-90 in a white Bronco. It was the energy drinks.
Okay. You want to know what I had?
Yes.
All right. Bang cotton candy, which is 300 milligrams, and
What?
Monster.
Cocaine?
Yeah.
Right, monster.
Yeah. And Monster Energy Pipeline Punch. Very fantastic. Very nice.
But I would say, you still can't just blame drugs on everything.
Right.
This is a professional show. David Bowie isn't like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I Heil Hitler. I was high on cocaine.
Yeah. Sorry for.
3 months.
Sorry,
straight.
I'm dead.
Oh,
Too soon.
no.
Too soon.
Oh my God.
Too soon.
I actually just watched the last 5 years documentary 4
Oh,
nights
good.
ago. It's
Yeah.
good. It's solid. Like you're not going to hear him say, "Sorry for station to station. I was on drugs."
Right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you should be. You're welcome for station to station.
Right.
I was on drugs.
right. So how this show works is Ryan and I pull questions from this jar, and we read it off, and we decide, does this pass or fail the Dresch Code? Pass, yes, we'll talk about it. Fail, we will not talk about it. So after each one, I think thumbs up or thumbs down would be more suffice, because every episode, there's always one guest that's like, what does pass or fail mean? So does that make sense?
Conveniently, those are the
Yeah.
classes they took in high school.
Seems pretty
Right.
cut and dry.
Cut and dry, yeah. So Ryan, would you like to
I would
do
love
the first
to.
question?
I would
All right.
love to. Thank you.
Yes, sir. They're about comedy, music, everything. So
Why do I always get the paragraphs?
Is
Buckman.
word good?
I word good. Why do some artists / bands get famous singing roughly the same song over and over, comma, while other artists that experiment often and do different things more often than not stay irrelevant or not as successful.
Pass or fail? I'll talk about it.
Pass.
Talk about it.
Okay.
I think people like
I
familiar.
don't have a strong opinion either way. I feel like I need to hear the whole breadth of questions to decide which one is good or not.
Right.
But there's a lot in there, so that would be
Who among us can say that this is good?
right. All the other questions could be horrible, and they're like, well, that one's good in comparison.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not.
Who wrote the questions?
I wrote them all on the card.
We should probably stick with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Zach wrote them all, they're not going to get better.
I wrote it. So yes.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's because it's familiarity and people like the familiar tones of the same thing. So if one thing works, they want to keep that trend going and going to the dismay of some artists that try and change it, evolve.
They try to keep it up
Yeah.
and be successful with the same thing.
Yep.
Right.
I think there's a lot of artists that kind of do the same song over and over again, but it works out for them.
Maroon 5.
Yeah.
Well, you got someone like Aerosmith. They're trying new things all the time.
Yeah.
I want to do a song with Carrie Underwood. No.
Did they do
we
a
are
song
breaking.
with Carrie Underwood?
Steven Tyler really wanted to, and the rest of the band was like, "We're quitting. We're done. If you do this, we're disbanding the band." And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it anyway."
Yeah.
So then they did.
Oh
They
my
made a song
God.
with Carrie Underwood.
Wasn't there a solid year where like there was YouTube footage of Steven Tyler going, "This is my last show with Aerosmith," like every show, like I'm leaving, and then American Idol like tanks for a little bit or does decent. He goes, "Oh, I'm still with Aerosmith. It's fine. We're good."
It is like he's like one of those people it's sad to see because Aerosmith was like so good.
Yeah.
Like and this is gonna sound bad, but you know how everyone's like
Good thing this is recorded.
drugs are bad. You know how everyone's always
Yeah.
like drugs are bad.
It worked for Aerosmith.
It worked really well.
Yeah.
When they were on drugs, they were like killer.
70s Aerosmith is dope.
Yeah.
Like,
then they
it's
stopped
so
doing
good.
drugs, and they were like, oh, we'll do a thing with Run DMC. Where everyone's like, okay, that's great, and everything from then out is like just horrible.
Like Love in an Elevator, shit.
Yeah.
Dude Looks Like a Lady, shit.
Yeah.
Like
I
all
know.
this, like
Yeah.
yeah,
But very progressive for its time. Dude looks like a lady.
yeah. And then they had the really clever album title, Permanent Vacation. And I'm just like, oh, I get it. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're taking a break year round. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
original.
Rock and roll
It's fresh.
is a vacation, man.
It's fresh. Just way to go, Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel?
really
about it?
Well, back to the question. I think there's a big difference between marketability and talent and experimentation. And
Right.
so sometimes those paths can cross, but a lot of times they don't. I just think the general. When you think about general audiences, they want something that's more palatable, and I think that's okay. I think some of the better musicians out there, they're not listening to the radio, just pissed off that their art isn't on the radio. I think. But some people do. Some people do get really upset about it.
Yeah.
It's usually fans who do. But
Right.
at least for me, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get when bands like the Chainsmokers are really popular and
Yep.
other, amazing artists aren't.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
There's very rare instances where the evolution works with the mainstream aligned, like Radiohead always does well. Like when they do different things, and because who they are, and that's who they were. They're like, this is us, deal with it, kind of thing. Whereas Fall Out Boy sucks.
Okay.
I've talked about this multiple times, but I'm not going to.
Why does Fall Out Boy suck?
Elaborate,
Yeah.
please.
All right.
And this
Oh,
next
boy.
hour of the podcast.
How much time you got?
Thanks for coming to the Why Fall Out Boy Sucks podcast.
Well, in my opinion, they claim they're evolving, but I feel like they're playing it safe and trying to release top 40 hit after top 40 hit and
Yeah.
trying to appeal to the mainstream. Whereas I liked when they were kind of going against the grain a little bit more in the past, but it was just kind of like...
But what is evolving if not like adapting to the state of the world to try and stay on top?
Are they successful at that? Have they had any hits?
They have #1 albums, and it's working for them. That's probably why
Aside
they
from-
continue.
Did anything happen after Save Rock and Roll?
They
I know
have...
there was something, but I know I never.
Yeah, they've had a
listened to
couple
it.
albums that were #1 and they're doing well, but it's like for me, it's just not for me because it doesn't have that full rock band vibe that they used to have back in 10 years ago or whatever. They kind of ditched the rock band sound and they're going for this cookie cutter pop, in my opinion.
So you would say that's like a negative thing then?
For me personally.
For you personally, see, yeah.
It's
And
like
I
it's
kinda
great
like-
that they're doing well.
I like both worlds because I love their early stuff, but I also really like I like top 40. I like
Sure.
the familiarity
Yeah.
and just being able to jam that kind of stuff too. So I think it's okay when a band chooses to go that route when they're trying to pay the bills and
That makes
yeah.
sense.
So
But it's for me personally, musically, it's not for me. Like I used to say Maroon 5, that's kind of like the last 4 albums.
I've never liked them.
Oh, I remember
never
you
have.
I was thinking that Family Guy joke where the one kid is like, "I heard you like shitty music, so I got you this Maroon 5 album."
Forgot about that.
Oh.
Forgot about that. But yeah, I think it's like you said, it's just marketability issue. Should we move on to the next one? All right. Let's see how this one goes. Have you met any famous people that left an impact on you?
Now, when you say impact,
I don't even know what I meant by this. Like, if the meeting was the thing that left an impact, or met someone famous that had previously left an impact on you beforehand. I don't know.
have you met a famous person?
Yeah, and it was significant to you.
I met the flu bug.
I was
It was very.
Yeah,
it
we've all
was
met
like-
the flu bug, I think.
All right. Next one.
I
All right.
I think that's it.
That's enough.
That was
Favorite talk show host, least favorite talk show host.
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that.
Sure.
All right.
My favorite, Zach Dresch. My least
Aww.
favorite, Zach Dresch.
Aw. Oh,
Favorite when I'm not on energy drinks. Least favorite when I am on energy drinks. It's fair. It's a fair
energy
assessment.
drinks is a euphemism for drugs. No.
I'm sober. Conan O'Brien for me, favorite talk show host, because he's quirky and silly, but he's also like professional about it, and like lets the guests do their thing. He doesn't try and take over the conversation.
That is very true.
like
There's a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess it's like there is a question now. Like, what do we mean by talk show host? Because now there's like a million podcasts and stuff, you know.
yeah.
So that like changes the question. Because I go right to like late night talk show.
Yeah.
Should we just kind of?
Probably late night talk show or
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
then of course Pat Sajak. He's got to be in the
Pat Sajak. Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett wasn't bad. Like
No.
he would have like really cool guests on and stuff. But no, but I'm with you. I'm Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like perfect balance between silly and professional.
Yeah, yeah,
Like yeah.
He doesn't seem to pander as much in that kind of like superficial way that some of the more popular, you know.
Yeah. Especially when he went political, he didn't like draw a line or it's like I'm definitely this side or I'm definitely that side. He would go both ways and like figure it out, balance it perfectly.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I didn't watch a ton of him growing up, just because it was on a lot later than I was normally up. But Craig Ferguson, I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of was the underdog of the late night hosts, I'd say. Least favorite for sure is Leno. Like,
Really?
He's got that face.
just a punchable face. Just a punchable face.
I always preferred Leno over Letterman.
Really?
Whoa.
Have you seen
What?
Letterman now?
What?
Yeah,
He's kind of deteriorating.
Yeah,
He's
that
like,
beard.
oh.
Letterman's like great. He's like the crotchety old mountain man that he was born to be.
Yeah.
I read an article. There was an interview with David Letterman, and he had this whole section about not knowing where to buy shoelaces. Because he was used to having people like, I need shoelaces, and then the assistant would go buy the shoelaces. So he's going through a store trying to figure out where you can just buy shoelaces. It was fascinating.
Would you say that like Leno over Letterman is that an unpopular opinion? I would say
Judging
that-
by all of your reactions, yes,
Yeah.
I would say so. It was mostly that was just what my family watched growing up. My dad preferred Leno, and so just the very few times that we watched Letterman, it just felt wrong in the house.
Oh, sure.
And so it was more of like an atmospheric thing. I did enjoy watching Letterman's series on Netflix where he brought guests on, but no, I always preferred Leno's style.
Sure, that makes sense. Has anyone ever said favorite Carson Daly? Has that ever been like a yeah?
Is that show still on?
Probably.
Fortunately, yes. I'm pretty sure it is.
The only reason I like Carson Daly is because he actually exposed me to a lot of artists that I never expected to be exposed to. Like, he would air really cool bands at like 12:30 at night.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, oh shit, this band's great. Like, that's why I would
Christina Aguilera.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a joy, like, you don't know that someone's playing and it's on in the background, and
Yeah.
find out something cool is on there that you know, I feel like is always more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, Susan Boyle? Dope. Like,
Oh, she's got the voice of an angel.
I forgot about her until
Well, then you've never
What's
really
she doing?
experienced.
Where is she at now? Can that be the follow-up question to everybody?
yeah. She's
Where is she?
touring with Nickelback, probably. I don't.
I think she's like one of those people that probably is a minor celebrity, like especially in England,
Yeah.
and probably gets, you know, like every once in a while, like pops up in a concert. It's like, oh, it's an
Like
evening
speaking
with
to talk
Susan
about-
Boyle.
I'm just
Yeah,
imagining
like
her
that.
like wandering through a Tesco, just singing "I Dreamed a Dream," hoping somebody recognizes her.
I think she's probably popular in UK still, not in America, but I mean, it's just kind of like she probably still releases albums, I'm sure, somewhere.
Oh, we're finding this out.
Spotify.
I'm the
Oh.
researcher.
Yeah, she's kind of like the Morrissey of idol people.
I don't.
right? You know, it's like
She's
she's really big in.
She put out a sixth album in 2014 that was the Billboard top #1 inspirational album for 35 weeks.
Oh,
Let's see.
I'll be damned.
I forget that inspirational is like a musical
Yeah,
genre.
it's like, whoa.
In 2016, she released another album. Is actually doing pretty good on the charts.
Oh,
There we go.
Boyle.
never thought that would be.
Listen, everyone makes fun, but you can't lance that Boyle. You know what I'm saying? She's sticking around. She's not
And
going
apparently,
anywhere.
there's a new series coming out called America's Got Talent: The Champions, and she has been confirmed that she will be on that. So we'll be seeing her a lot more on TV again soon.
Oh, well, there you go.
So America's Got Talent is just turning into Survivor. Like they just bring back past winners now.
You wish.
Yeah.
Oh, I sorry, I'm thinking Battle Royale, not Survivor. Yeah, it's just like Survivor. where it's like-
Isn't that like where all those reality shows go? Like at a certain point, because like with Real World, it was on for years, and then they're like it's Real World. Then it was like Road Rules or something.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
wasn't that?
They are like the great Leviathan swallowing its own tail and then tumbling through like all eternity into obscurity.
They've taken
Exactly, yeah.
Jeopardy has done this now, except they've taken even further. So they've had Jeopardy, like Ken Jennings came back, and the other guy whose name I can't remember. But now they're doing like Jeopardy All Stars, where that's like Ken Jennings and then a couple other big champions. But they have teams of people under them, so then the teams are competing.
What?
Yeah.
And in the end, they all have to fight Watson. Not play against him in Jeopardy, actually physically fight
Right.
Watson.
They put him in
that,
like a
honestly.
ninja robot.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I would. Yeah, that would be awesome.
It sounds like an unfair fight until you realize that Watson's got Boston Dynamics in his corner. All these fucking freaky dog things start coming out of the woodwork. It's like, fuck.
No.
I know. The only way to beat him is with the one thing he doesn't have.
Love.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how you love to fight.
Just bring him like chocolate hearts, or like the chocolate heart thing.
And he goes, "What is this? Does not compute." And then he just fries.
I think that'd be the greatest like anticlimactic just ending. Just present it to him like.
How Terminator Genesis should have ended.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Oh, Arnold. Next question. All right,
I think
we've reached that conclusion
Yeah.
for that one.
that started off with talk show hosts.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dresch.
Welcome to the Dresch Code. What genre do you not like as much, or do you only go back to because of nostalgia?
Country,
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
clearly.
Yeah.
Country.
Country.
No.
Yeah, but like I don't know. You were talking about country pop earlier. I don't know. That's just strange.
There's a
That's
couple
weird.
artists like I like Casey Musgrave's new stuff. I like that a lot. There's a lot more country that's becoming more popular, like Chris Stapleton or like Jason Isbell has been getting huge. So it's like That stuff I like a lot. A lot of the Florida Georgia Line I cannot get behind. I cannot back that at all. Just not for me. It's like the bro country pop stuff.
Yeah, well, I think like with Jason Isbell and all those other, and I haven't listened to much of Casey Musgraves because I thought she was part of that pop country.
Oh, sure.
And but her new album's gotten like it's on all the end of the year lists.
Yeah,
like,
it's good. I listened. I was like, I gotta listen to this.
Yeah,
It's like all over
I'm
the place.
curious, but I think they kind of do more like what like kind of outlaw country was, where it's like real songs about real people.
Yeah.
Whereas like Florida Georgia Line is like we're Americans because we got pickup trucks and we drive on gravel roads.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Or
Kenny Chesney was my first concert, actually. So.
Oh.
I don't know enough to make a live judgment about him.
Oh, sure.
But I'll do
You
it.
can.
All right. Is it kind of like that?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think he's older. Like,
Right.
he was thriving in like 2005.
Oh, okay.
Sexy Tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that like that type of country was as bad in like early 2000s.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But
No.
now it's just like I always think about that Bo Burnham. That
Oh,
Yep.
country.
song
Yep.
that he
No
had. It's
Jews,
like,
you
this
didn't
is-
hear that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I always think of that when I hear that kind of music. I'm just like, this is to a T just what it feels like.
Yeah.
Just pandering, and I can't get into that, but I do like country.
Yeah.
I'd probably say hard rock.
Sure.
Like the,
For me, the mid-thousands Crow hard rock.
Yes.
That stuff.
I can't. I will listen to the old hardcore music I used to listen to. I listen to pop, Owl City. Like I'll go back to that. I just can't go back to the hard, just straight up.
For me, it's like I used to listen to Seether, 3 Days Grace,
3 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. Can't really listen
Puddle
to
of
it.
Mud.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has not aged well.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I mean, I listen to that record way too much. And
I remember one
can't listen
time,
to
I
it
think
anymore.
Disarm may have been asked to open for Puddle of Mud when they came to
Oh my
town
gosh.
2 years ago, but they canceled because the singer was going through
I say
some
that
personal
vocalist is a
problems.
hot mess. It's
Yeah.
like, and he does like 2 shows and then he
Yeah.
has a drunken fit on stage and leaves.
And our band member Ben, he's just like, guys, can we not open for Puddle of Mud?
That's an understandable plea.
I can
I
hear
just-
that in his voice. That
Guys,
makes
can
me
we
happy.
can we not? I just really don't want to open for Puddle of Mud. Okay, it's just I can't not do it. Like, yeah, but I watched a clip on YouTube of Puddle of Mud recently because it was on the news. Like the singer was just sitting on stage on a chair, and people in the crowd were yelling, "Fuck you, Wes! Fuck you!" And he's just like, "Bring it on!" I'm just like, "What are you doing on stage?" Like. And it was
Clint Eastwood with this chair.
Oh, yeah. Is that the SNL thing? There's an SNL skit where Bill Hader plays Clint Eastwood doing a one-man show, staring at a chair and yelling at it for like 2 hours, like award-winning Tony-nominated, like
Well, because Clint Eastwood did that.
yeah,
do it.
Okay.
yeah. It's like he's yelling at the chair, "Get off my damn lawn!"
And now he's doing another movie.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that before Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like, this is really strange.
I kind of want to see it though.
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood's like he's not a bad director. He's
No.
got quite a few good movies under his belt.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think of other genres that were a little like some pop punk I can't do anymore because it's just too cheesy. It's like too. I still listen to it though. 'Cause it
What's like
just
an example of that?
hits hits the feels like.
Mine is, I think I've mentioned this before, like 90s.
Oh, boy
like,
bands, that kind of thing.
No, 90s Christian. Because that's all I was allowed to listen to growing up.
Oh,
That's a
Allowed.
whole nother can.
So it was like Rich Mullins and early Stephen
Amy
Chris
Grant-
Chapman.
Amy
Grant, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Newsboys.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I was looking for.
But like
Those-
actual
yeah.
like Australian newsboys,
Oh.
not Michael Tate. I know too much about this.
Yeah. I actually, one of my first concerts was Newsboys at Life Light when I was
Yeah,
like 10 or
that-
11. Yeah. I remember the Australian Newsboys, the classic lineup was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Confetti and everyone was like, "This is the best concert ever." I'm like, "Oh, nope." Like, yeah. Oh, actually, funny enough, the band before Newsboys that night was Tate, Michael Tate's solo band. And funny enough,
Oh, I
like,
forgot about Tate.
yeah,
It was like Third Day and Jeremy Camp and those guys.
Yeah.
Too.
yeah.
Yeah.
motherfuckers act like they forgot about Tate.
When you go from DC talk to Tate.
Yeah.
To running newsman. Yeah.
And after that, I only
weird.
went to Lifelight for Reliant K like 7 years later. And then Five Iron Frenzy, which is Christian ska the next
I
year.
love Five
What
Iron
about
Frenzy.
like Family Force 5?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, I skipped that for good.
See, Christian metalcore is what got me into music in general.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Like Under Oath was a big
Yeah.
piece of my music, like listening. So
Can I recommend Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh?
Yeah.
Is that the name of a group?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I was driving home from Omaha over the summer, and I couldn't figure out what this radio station was. Because I'm like, this has some like okay, like kind of hard rock metal music. And then I found out that it was a Christian metal radio station, and one of the bands was Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh.
I'm definitely looking that up when we're done here.
It's like a sheep coming in wolf's clothing.
We broke Ryan.
Wait a second. I get it in now.
Really liked Faith Plus
Hi,
One,
hello.
which was Eric Cartman's Christian
Yeah.
on South Park. You ever see that episode?
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh, yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, it's great. And he's taking secular songs and just putting Jesus in the lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to touch your body, Jesus.
I mean, it's really inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the most sexual, like Phil Collins, like deep cut or like whatever songs you can think of that are just, like Prince songs,
Right.
like that level of dirty, like with Jesus.
Such a good episode. And he wants to get platinum for their album, but in the Christian community, they only certify gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And he takes the awards and just throws it. It's a great episode. And we covered enough ground for that one, I think.
so.
Yeah, that's a great episode. In your opinion, what is the last full-fledged rock band to leave a significant impact on mainstream culture?
Oof.
That was
Yeah.
That's tough, but yeah, I'd talk about it.
I don't know a lot about it, but
You could probably talk about it. At least that left a mark. It was more rock-based.
like
Yes,
Mark, is that like popularity or
It's
like
like
actually influence?
headlining festivals, big deal kind of rock
Okay.
band.
I guess the first name that flew into my head was Foo Fighters.
I would say Foo Fighters. Or Kings of Leon, maybe.
Mm.
'Cause they had a couple of top 40 hits, and they're still rock-ish. Even though their old stuff is far better.
What's Imagine Dragons in that kind
I guess I would say, like, they're kind of rock. That's what classifies as rock now as far as top 40 goes.
Because it's like, I feel like Coldplay came along and it kind of split.
Yeah.
Where it's like, anything with like, that sound like it has a guitar is like,
It's considered rock now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I guess
yeah.
Muse, technically, too,
Yeah.
to a degree.
I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
Arcade Fire. Is that going
Arcade,
back
I
too
could
far?
That's I think it's around the same time, mid-thousands.
Yep.
I guess 2010 they won Album of the Year, so that was kind of the
Yeah.
last.
Although then everyone was like hashtag who or Arcade Fire on
Yeah.
the Twitter.
So we had the folk explosion. Like five years ago, we had the folk explosion where top 40 artists that were playing guitars acoustic guitars were big.
Yep.
Like Ed Sheeran, Mumford and Sons,
Mumford and Sons.
Yeah.
Lumineers, of Monsters of Metal, that kind of stuff. So rock is a loose, but I guess as far as hard rock mainstream, I'd say Foo Fighters or yeah.
It's the international
Necessary.
symbol of
That's
yeah.
instead of just like it's more,
Okay,
Yeah.
Buddy Holly.
yeah. Or
Great, now I have to watch School of Rock again because now all I can think about is like, now raise your goblet of rock.
yeah. As I was stocking shelves a couple nights ago, I had "Touch Me" by The Doors stuck in my head because of School of Rock. Lewis is good at piano. Anyways. That's what I would say. The Doors.
I think that's where that's the last time.
1968.
Yeah.
Cut off.
Everything after
Well,
that.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. That's it.
Lisa's Spinal Tap every time someone references going to 11.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's
They
true.
have left their mark in that way.
Oh, sidebar for a second. I listened to a podcast from a music journalist. Eddie Trunk is his name. He's more of an 80s hard rock journalist. He went on a 10-minute rant on how he doesn't understand Weird Al Yankovic's popularity. And he seriously sounded like an old man yelling at a cloud for like 10 minutes. Kind of thing. He's like, I don't get it. He kept going, who pays to see Weird Al? And he literally was speechless. He goes, he's selling out amphitheaters? And like, and then his co-host goes, yeah, he's a pretty big deal, actually. Like, he goes,
He just got a star.
Yeah, and he goes, I don't get Spinal Tap either. He just sounded so angry. Like, I don't get it. It's like, who sees Weird Al? And he goes, I gotta say, it's probably not for me. You think?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Maybe he just doesn't like humor and
I don't think he has a
music.
sense of humor. I think he just doesn't like it when humor meshes.
Some people feel that is like poking fun at
Yeah.
it as opposed to like laughing with it or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like
I understand the homage.
Yeah. I think why Weird Al Weird Al's doing well is because he always parodies with the times and
Yep.
keeps it stays relevant with it, and he's also a genius. So I think it's like, in my opinion, but like that's why it's so popular. But yeah, that was. If you get a chance, look up Eddie Trunk Weird Al. It's hilarious. It's just old man on yelling at cloud for 10 minutes. Just who? And his co-host is just like, he's great. He goes, I've been known to rock eat it a time or two. He goes, who does that? Next question. Oh, you're next.
I lost track.
Yeah, I think you're next.
Okay.
Oh.
What makes a great parody? What makes a great parody or satire artist? Weird Al, Lonely Island, etc.
I'd say no, because we already kind of
Yeah,
touched on
we
it.
just touched that.
We got to turn down one. How do you feel when music that was new when you were young gets labeled as classic rock?
This is probably more for me.
So,
Down on that one.
Wow, we must be getting to the end of the show. Favorite song at the moment?
I'll talk about it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently.
I like that everyone said yes, and then there's like silence.
All right, I'll start.
Check it out.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'll start. Slow Burn by Casey Musgraves. It's a great song. Just
She's come up a few times now.
a lot.
Like her.
I just listened to it like twice yesterday, so that's why it's fresh on the noggin.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Zach likes to refer to her as Casey Musgraves.
Is it Mus?
Must.
Musgraves? Musgraves. I don't know why I said that. It's the monster upstairs. It's the bang.
It is Musgraves.
There you go. Musgraves.
That's hard. I like. There's a few albums I'm listening to a lot right now.
Is there like one song stuck in your head today at all?
Yeah. It's Arizona by Now Now. So it's
Oh,
on
okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that song has been like.
now is a good one.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's what I'm listening to. But I've also, if I was being transparent, Thank You Next by Ariana Grande.
Oh, nice.
I heard that for the first time
Yeah, so
yesterday.
It
It's
gets
good.
stuck in your head, and then you have to listen to it, and then you just
Yeah.
accidentally put it on repeat, and then you just keep listening to it.
Were you like Threads era now too? Or
Yeah,
did
well,
you-
like Now Every Children, so like the stuff before Threads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually-
but I love Threads is probably. I don't know if I like the new album better than Threads.
I like it for what it is. I don't think I can compare it to the.
Well, they're
other
like two
ones,
different
but
bands
they're-
almost, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk about Now.
I actually did see Now Now at First Stab about 8 years ago.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool. It was a day-long festival thing. So it was like there was a band playing at First Stab, and then 7th Street back and forth, like
that's
Warped
so
Tour
cool.
kind of thing. So it was pretty cool.
What about Wet? Is kind of in the same realm as Now, I think.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, I like Wet.
Yeah.
Haven't listened to them as much.
Trying to think.
I knew that kind
They
of
had a new one a
happier.
minute ago.
Yeah.
Ryan, Justin.
I keep getting distracted because I'm looking at myself, you know? And I'm
Just
like,
say
but
Saturday.
Who's that
Friday
handsome
is-
man over there?
Look
But I'm
this
like, I'm
way.
trying to figure it out because sometimes
That
it's
adds
like
some debt.
it doesn't match up, and also I'm vain. I'm like, oh yeah. I was listening to. I've been in Nick Cave mode,
Oh, sure. Nick Cave's awesome.
and
I got really excited for a hot second. I thought he was about to say Nick Cage.
Yeah, you should put on a new album.
I was gonna say,
Straight.
like,
I
Nick,
mean,
Cage, Nick Cage's version of "Love Me Tender" is the best version. Don't at me.
So I've just been listening to murder ballads for the past like 2 weeks. But he has a song called Stagger Lee,
Oh, okay.
and it's like the filthiest song I've ever heard in my life. It's like really intense.
So one Nick Cave song I really liked recently, Jealousy Street. Is that the name of the song? Jealousy.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
It's a newer one. But
I never really got huge into him, and then all of a sudden, you know how that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, I was listening to it, and I was like, oh shit, this is really good.
Yeah.
And now it's all I can listen to, you know.
Oh yeah. What else? Jesus and Mary Chain was kind of one of those
Oh,
newer ones. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
they're
that.
great.
Yeah. I'm late to the game on a lot of those artists, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things with Radiohead. I feel like someday I'll get it. Like I just don't quite.
You know,
Well,
Radiohead?
up to Kid A, I like a lot.
Yeah.
And then after that was like the lost me.
I couldn't
Yeah.
name you a single Radiohead song.
Man.
I just, it's probably disappointing, but just gotta be honest. Not my thing.
Weezer's Africa. It's really good.
I didn't jump on that bandwagon.
I didn't.
Do you want the John Bellion answer or the Josh Groban answer?
You say both.
Okay. Josh Groban has a rendition of "She's Always a Woman."
Oh, okay.
Great, like a Billy Joel cover by Josh Groban is everything I ever wanted in life, and I got it. But then
It's awesome.
it is me personified.
Yeah.
And then John Bellion's got a great song featuring Will Smith of all people, called "Cautionary Tales" that I'm really digging right now. So.
Robert, you got any songs that you
Christmas music, man. That's all that's pouring through my head right now.
working retail? I feel the pain.
Oof.
Yep. I heard Death Cab for Cutie Christmas song a couple nights ago.
What?
Yeah.
Please come home.
Is that the one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was listening to that this morning. So yes.
Deck the halls
Oh yeah.
like
It's not
Christmas at all.
It snowed like 4 times.
I think we touched on that one pretty good.
Yeah, we're good.
Forward for the next
We
one.
answered the shit out of that.
It's so answered.
I guess I should ask. Who is swearing?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Whatever you want to fucking say. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Rainbow Kittens.
Sorry.
I keep forgetting the past,
No, you're
so I'm
good.
just
Yeah.
gonna.
Oh gosh. I'll have to think about it. Come back to me.
Should I answer first? I have one. I think. Bingo.
I think you're answering second.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think she's.
I
Oh,
just
yeah, second.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Second.
answered
All right.
Rainbow Kittens.
Sorry, the Dresch Code. Women don't count. So whatever they say, whoever talks next was the first person. I don't agree with it. I'm just telling you what the
Only
rules
6 in
are.
this room, so.
Big sigh from the producer.
Okay.
So are we failing the
never ask
Bechdel test
Justin
right
that.
now?
That's the post-show meeting.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters 7 years ago in Iowa. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. Motorhead was supposed to open, but Lemmy was stuck in Texas, so they backed out. And so Dave Grohl says, "We'll play an extra hour. That's cool." And so they threw in a lot of deep cuts and a lot of rare stuff, and they started playing Tom Petty covers and all this stuff. So it was like a 3.5 hour, just them 3.5 hour show. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
So the spontaneity made it so fun. It's rare to see an arena band not phone it in. It was fun to just be like, "Oh, that's cool." Throwing random shit in. So, yeah. Anyone else?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So I saw Fun and Miniature Tigers at Triple Rock Social.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
they had just came out that Be Calm, is that the name?
Oh,
of the
Aim and
album?
Ignite.
Aim and Ignite.
That
the
album's
song
so
is-
good.
Yeah. and they had just came out with that, and so they played. There was like 100 people, 120 people there.
Wow.
And it was just cool, fun, intimate show, and
That's super cool.
yeah, Miniature Tigers was really cool. I liked fun at the time, and memorable show. I enjoyed it.
That's cool. I actually saw Fun about a year after that. They were touring with Panic at the Disco.
Oh, sick.
Opening for
I
Panic.
remember that.
Yeah, with Vice and Virtues tour. And Fun was like, we're going to try this new song out, We Are Young. Like, let's see what happens. Like, it's just, it wasn't released yet. It was just like they were trying it out, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, just humongous hit.
Played on the Grammys. I think.
Yeah.
That was like somebody I used to know era too. I
Yeah.
feel like those were around the same time.
Yeah. Didn't expect those songs to just explode. So that was cool. And I met the piano player, Fun. He was a nice guy. He's cool. Pretty chill. Pretty chill.
How'd you meet him? I have to ask.
At the merch table.
Oh, okay.
Pretty easy. I didn't like go by the tour, but I was like, hey.
In the bathroom over the stall. What you doing?
Hey, Andrew. What you doing? That made it weird. All right.
It got weird.
I got weird. Any other favorites?
I mean, my options are that Primus concert and Mercy Me. So,
Primus, maybe.
Primus, maybe? I mean,
Because
Crown
of Crown
Lands was good.
Yeah.
It's like a cover band name.
Kind of rope. Yeah, that's
Where'd you
awesome.
see, Connor?
No, not First Stab. It was St. Paul.
Cool.
But 2017, that was a ride. That was.
Oh, I'm sure it was cool.
Got a Bright Eyes album tattoo.
Oh, nice.
It was
That's cool.
big deal. Phoebe Bridgers opened too. That's how I found
Oh.
out about her.
She's
Oh, I
so
love that
good.
woman to death. She's so funny.
I was listening to her.
She's
on the way here.
hilarious.
I was in the same
Her
building.
Twitter's a good time.
Yeah, I was in the same building as her last month at First Stab. I went to 7th Street to see Justin Pierre, and then Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker were at First Stab, and I'm just like, oh, you have to choose between the two fucking shows.
So you like
Oh,
Boy Genius then?
Yes.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that stuff is so
Yeah.
good. Oh.
really awesome. That Phoebe Bridgers last album was so good. Like, god damn. Like,
Yeah.
Her and Julian Baker are probably two of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Julian Baker's definitely that first album's my favorite album of all time for sure.
yeah, it's so good.
Phoebe and Connor played Lua together there too, I think, and that was
Oh.
it was sweet.
They play Would You Rather? Or is that more like...
I don't think they did.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't remember for sure. I have a picture of the set list somewhere.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't get it. A girl took it for her husband, who was not there.
Oh, God.
But yeah.
He was there in spirit. Give me the set list, honey. Like, anyways, next question. All right, did you say the last one? Oh, I think I said the last one.
That's Ryan's turn again.
All right.
Executive decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had this one shot and you screwed it up.
Movies that you feel wouldn't be PC today.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I gotta say Birth of a Nation.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think would go well.
Waterboy has not aged
Oh,
well at all.
Yeah.
I watched that St. Patrick's Day night, and I just, the whole time, I felt terrible for ever having enjoyed it.
Now how come? Because I haven't seen it in a
Yeah,
long time.
refresh my memory. Why is it bad?
Waterboy?
Yeah.
Just people taking advantage of and using a person who very clearly has, like, some sort of developmental, disadvantage.
Okay.
Not disadvantage.
I can kinda see that.
But yeah, no, it's just like... just how people treat him and try to like get him to conform to their way of living is just not, it was not cool. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it.
I guess I never looked at it from that perspective. Just because with Adam Sandler, I always looked at it from a different point of view. I don't know why. But, yeah. And plus with, I guess, the coach, or the guy that has no tongue. Like that. Boom, go, bang, bang, bang. Like that whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like that movie is really laced with like Southern stereotypes more
Sure.
than
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
which most Southerners are just kind of like, hell yeah, you know.
Yeah. I just quoted Waterboy like 5 times today. to a bandmate. It was just, when he walked in, I'm like, "There's my bitch." I don't know.
And you're still in the band.
Yeah,
Okay.
we both love Waterboy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say Tropic Thunder, a little bit. Hasn't aged, or I guess it's satire, so it's different. I guess I don't know.
Have I told you about how I legitimately thought Robert Downey Jr. was black, and so I was really confused when I saw like other movies with Robert Downey Jr. I thought this guy was. Yeah.
I'd say all the
That one.
American Pie movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some rough stuff.
Yeah. Those, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, those are probably not aged well.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'd honestly hate to be Jason Biggs at this point. Just like, you're the dude with the pie. Like,
Right.
like
At the time, it was probably like, oh my god, I'm gonna be famous.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you will be. For
Enough.
one thing.
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't even have a bit part in Orange is the New Black.
He was like a
Yeah,
lead character for a couple seasons. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
okay.
he was
Yeah.
like her
Boy.
wife,
Yeah.
I felt.
her husband.
Yeah. Yeah. He fit the role. He did the role well.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I never did see Blazing Saddles, but I feel like that wouldn't fit well.
You've
with-
never seen Blazing Saddles.
It's
Yeah.
a good movie.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it would a very difficult
I'm going on
one.
Amazon right now and buying you a
I already
copy.
have it. I haven't watched it yet. That's so.
Will someone physically restrain Ryan? I think he's going to hurt someone.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
You've
It'd be hilarious if
No.
he was reacting like that. He's like, no.
No.
It's a good movie, but that is like one that people always say it couldn't get made today.
Yep.
But then I'm like, yeah, they did make it. It's called Django Unchained.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
They made it much worse.
Right,
than
yeah.
Made it. Yeah, that's true.
But I think but oddly, I don't think it's like that stuff because I feel like because that's such biting satire that, like, because they say the N word a lot, you know. But
Yeah.
but it's obviously anti-racism. But I think what I was actually thinking about this one line that I don't think would go over well is when they're interviewing a whole bunch of spoilers for this 50-year-old movie. I feel like anything like made before 2010 doesn't need a spoiler.
No.
But there's like a line of bad guys being, and they're like when they get up to the desk, because that's how you interview for bad guys. They ask them what their crimes they've committed, and this one guy is like, let me see here, cattle rustling, rape, bank robbery, thieving, and then rape. He said, "You said rape twice. I like rape," which I don't think could go over well today.
No.
No. I'd forgotten that one. I yeah, because that's the line of like Nazis and Klansmen.
Right? Yeah,
and,
it's
like every kind of evil group imaginable is being recruited.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The line was written for kind of a giggle, and
Yeah.
like that wouldn't fly.
Right. Yeah.
And no.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
If you watch Kids in the Hall, Scott Thompson is the one. What?
Nothing.
He's
Nothing at all.
the one openly gay cast member on the show, and they say FAG all the time, like just off the like whatever. But since he's gay, it's probably okay. It was passable, but I don't think anyone else in the show said it. But it was like such a common thing on that show to say that all the time, like in a lot of skits and stuff. So I don't know. It'd be different today, I guess. Seeing some of those skits now, it's just like, but yeah. I think we answered that one.
I'm trying to think of one that because so many of them we've talked about are like comedy satire kind of thing, where like they're kind of poking the bear a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
like on purpose. I'm trying to think of one that's just like that's playing it straight that wouldn't like fly today.
I think a lot of people have said 50 Shades of Grey, even though it's been out for like 4 years. But people are just kind of like, nowadays, it's like, it's been 4 years, but they're already like,
Like, ooh, God, that was a gross time, you know?
yeah, yeah.
It was a dark time in our lives.
Gigli.
I don't think that would hold up.
Just because it's
Oh.
bad. Like,
Tony's got a few, like Slapshot. He's right. That one.
Oh,
would,
Slapshot,
That one
yeah.
would be a hard one to make today.
Hamburger, the motion picture.
I don't even know that.
I don't know. I never
Oh,
saw
The
that one.
Jerk. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I grew up poor and black in the South. Yeah, that line.
Would not fly today. Like,
I talked about this, I think, last podcast, but Better Off Dead, I don't think could be made now.
oh, yeah. So with John Cusack
Mhm.
being extremely suicidal in the film.
Yeah.
And all this stuff, and all the suicide jokes in it. Yeah. That'd be a little dark there. I think what else there would be that would be...
Anything older than 5 years
Any movie.
would not be
Just-
made today.
Yeah.
Anything that's in production right now.
Right, could not
It's
be
probably
made today.
problematic. Yeah.
Van Wilder. Anything with Ryan Reynolds. Like, just...
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
Anything, well, I just want to say anything with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even parts of, like, Baby Driver don't feel comfortable anymore with,
Yeah.
with Kevin Spacey in it.
Yeah. House of Cards. Maybe that's not a film, but it's still...
No.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother question, the separation of like art and people like Kevin Spacey, and how you like, you know, are you still allowed to enjoy that kind of
Yeah.
art?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like I'm a huge sci-fi nut, so it's like Orson Scott Card is just like I absolutely love Ender's Game and most of that series, and it's like then every once in a while he gets on a microphone or in a newspaper, and I'm just like, oh Jesus God, no, okay, brace for impact. He has not aged well.
No. It's not a fine wine there, that's for sure.
No.
Next one.
Mhm.
All right. What lyrical cliches need to go away? Pass on that one? Or nah? Yeah, that was generic. That was...
Don't be angry with yourself because you wrote a bad question.
Did you write all these questions at work? They're on.
Oh, I borrowed some.
Borrowed.
Oh,
Not
don't-
trying to get you in trouble, but
No!
I just have been.
But you wrote this one, which is excellent. What is the best Arnold Schwarzenegger quote?
Ooh. I talk about that.
I'll talk
I
about
love
that.
this. I love this a
Listen to you
lot.
talk about it.
I love
All
this
right.
a lot.
I don't really have one.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
What is that from?
Kindergarten Cop.
Uh,
It's not a tumor.
That movie is
I'm
so
definitely partial to let off some steam, Bennett.
I'm the potty pooper and shoots some guy.
Oh my God.
It's also Kindergarten Cop. All the best ones are in Kindergarten Cop. When he's yelling at kids, he just goes, "Ah! Shut up! Shut up! Ah! Shut up!"
I'm pretty sure that in like Commando he says like, "If I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead already." It's like, okay,
Chill out.
chill out.
All
What
the
killed
ice-
the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. That movie is gold.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. It's so good.
It's so great.
I gotta give it to at some point in the movie Predator, he says a line that's it's not that funny, but what makes it funny is that like okay, so one group of my nieces and nephews, their like parents, my sister and them don't really like filter at all for them, so he's like 5 years old and his favorite movie is the original Predator, which he watches like every day. So he's playing with all the other like nieces and nephews down in the basement with toy guns and stuff. And and I swear to God, I'm in the other room like playing ping pong with like a sister or something like that. And you hear my little nephew Clyde go, you hear a like toy gun go, ch-ch. He's like, "You better start running, motherfucker." It's like, Clyde, what the hell? And apparently it's like, his dad is just like, yeah, it's a line from Predator. It's like, I was watching Predator.
have they followed up on this with any medical professionals? Do small animals end up dead around the house quite often?
Yeah, but that's my other nephew.
Oh, okay.
I think I was quoting Austin Powers at the age of 5, and a lot of that stuff I really shouldn't have been saying.
Same.
Yeah. My mating too, bitch. My wedding tackle. It's like I'm 5 and saying this shit? Alright. It's just over my head.
If it means we can kill it.
I think that covers that one.
Yep.
That was more of a Ryan and me just riffing.
That works.
Oh, this one's interesting. Have you ever been extremely ill and still performed? In general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Senior year, I had the flu during a run of I Never Saw Another Butterfly. We get to the second, it was opening night. I went out, I did my scene, I got off stage, I went to the bathroom, I threw up. I came back out, and my choir director was standing in the hallway, and I was like, "Hi, DK." And I just went back in to do the next scene. That was it was the most miserable show I've ever done.
Trying to think. There's one time I had walking pneumonia, and then 2 days later I had to do a 45-minute stand-up set. And the first time I'd ever done that set, the longest I'd ever done at that point, as I was just trying to keep it together doing 45 minutes. I managed to make it through, but I was just like I was still on Z-Pack meds. Like, where am I at this point right now? And on top of it, just the stress of having your family in the audience too. Just like, oh, if it was a regular show, whatever, that's fine. But like them watching you, like, oh, don't. Like, that was rough.
An episode of the Sioux Empire podcast in here where it was just like mid-interview, and I'm just like, yes, and it was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm about to throw up quite violently. So I immediately get up, go out the door. I didn't say a word to anyone because I wasn't going to make it if I did. So it's just like, luckily Seth kept the conversation rolling and everything else. And after like 15 minutes, I come back into the room. My hair's all messed up, and I'm just like, so how was that interview? Anyone have a breath mint? But in editing, it seemed pretty good. But yeah, the experience was not fun.
Not bad.
It's like, and we're back, folks.
Yeah.
I've been kind of sick, but like I've never been extremely ill.
Oh, sure.
Just like fever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're performing, it's weird. Like adrenaline kicks in, and then just
But
like
it's
tears
fine.
you through.
Yeah.
And then you just collapse off stage.
Yeah. I did watch with that Bowie documentary when he the last live show he ever did he had a heart attack right after the show.
Yeah.
And you could see his purple lips, like he was still making it through the set, but he was just like,
It's crazy.
and then he made it through the whole set and then just walks off stage and collapses, and he ended up being all right after that, but like, like,
yeah,
yeah,
I know,
that's
it's crazy.
Yeah. I remember once with Oasis, watching that footage, like some fan pushed Noel Gallagher, somehow got backstage and ran and shoved him, and he fell into the monitors, broke his ribs, and he still continued with the show. Like, they gave him a ton of painkillers, and he just stood up and managed to make it through. And they canceled the rest of the tour after that, but like, yeah, that was.
I'm trying to think of who that was that actually like broke their foot.
Oh, Dave Grohl.
Was that Dave Grohl? Okay.
Yeah.
But they just like wrapped it up and he finished the.
He had a tech hold his foot the rest of the show, and he was just and he goes, "Yeah, I made it through with a lot of painkillers, like a lot of Vicodin."
I think we all pale in comparison though to Teddy Roosevelt with the old. Let's see, got shot in the chest by an assassin, like in the first 5 minutes of his speech. And then it was like, no, I'm fine. So with like blood running out of his chest, proceeds to give the rest of his 45-minute long speech where he's like, we should probably get me to the hospital.
Oh my god.
They don't make politicians like that anymore.
No.
Looking at you, William Henry Harrison.
Yeah. Weakling.
Reminds me of Austin Powers when Will Ferrell gets shot, but he still keeps talking.
Yes.
You shot me!
When he's Mustafa, it's like, I'm alive, but I'm very badly burned.
If you could just... Oh, good. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, it's like, you shot me.
You shot me in the arm. Anyway, it's only funny to Robert.
The wound is beginning to smell a little bit like olives.
Which is not good.
Have you seen that interview earlier this year with Aaron Rodgers after a game? He he got injured in the first half, and so he went in, and then he came out and just big comeback, won the game. At the end of the game, they're interviewing him, and he's high as a kite. They just pump him full of as many painkillers.
That
And
was
he's
good.
trying to get through it, and he's like got this little smirk on his face, and his eyes are just red as all. And he's just like talking in a way he doesn't talk. His voice is like kind of high. It was just so
awesome.
funny. I was just knew what they had done with him in there. And gave him a bunch of shots and said get back out there. It's so funny.
Should you next question?
Yeah.
All right.
Have you ever walked out of a movie or fell asleep during one in the theater? If so, which movie or movies?
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
No.
I'm like right here.
I don't go to movies.
All right.
I've never.
I cry
I'll just-
after
I've never
movies,
laughed
but
or
that's
fallen
about
asleep.
all the problems that I
You
have.
I'll just-
cry?
Oh
Okay.
God, some
People
of
have
them are
spoken.
awful.
We're
All right.
Sorry.
Venom was like the first movie I've been to in a year that I didn't cry in. I cried at Deadpool too.
Really?
Same.
Oh, yes.
When the slow version of Take on Me hits,
Yes.
I was sniveling in the theater. My
Did
friend
you,
looks over and he's just like, "Are you crying right now?" I'm like, "Yeah."
You guys,
Aw.
3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Can I spoil it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, after he shoots himself, I sobbed from then on. I was a wreck. It didn't end. That was awful. I don't ever want to see that again. Because that hurt. That and Dear Zachary. There's a documentary and that will rip your heart out. I don't know if that's with anyone.
You know what you should watch? Kick back. Schindler's List.
I did that. There was a mistake. Ugh.
The feel-good film of the year.
Liam Neeson's breakout role.
Oh. And Fargo's really good too. It's a really good like mood stepper.
You know what though? But I bet you wouldn't actually feel sad. Like you wouldn't cry watching Fargo.
No, I didn't cry, but I felt like just as overwhelming. Like God, I'm
Yeah.
bummed out after seeing it.
Well,
kind of thing.
that's what's great about the Coen Brothers. Like there's no real emotion, but afterwards you just like have lost all faith in humanity.
Yeah.
When you see a Coen Brothers movie,
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
it's a magic.
What's one thing you wish people would stop saying? I suppose with that one.
I'm sure we all have something.
Sorry, not sorry has always bugged me.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah,
so.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag everything. Like
don't
hashtag
understand
blessed.
hashtags.
Hashtag
Just in general.
Just hashtags.
yeah, or just, like people say hashtag Jamba Juice.
Like,
like
do you okay if people like do a hashtag and
then
it's
say
intended,
yeah.
like in an intended form, like on a tweet, or just like when they're speaking and like.
When you verbalize
Don't
it, I guess.
verbalize it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel the same way about tweets. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No
There's
hashtagging?
something that I forgot about. Yeah.
Well, aren't they? But they aren't they there to like it's like shows up on
Just to kind of follow.
I don't need people to find everything.
Well, I'm trying to build a brand.
It is amazing. Like a friend of mine taught me, like if there's certain hashtags that you use on a post, you'll get a lot more people liking the post that way.
Mm-hmm.
And my
people
friend,
peruse those hashtags,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
on Instagram. I
Yeah,
don't know as
totally.
much on Twitter, but
yeah, my friend does hashtag cat props, and I started doing it, and you get like an extra 10 likes just for doing
Oh,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
But
Yeah.
first coffee is really obnoxious to me. On like coffee mugs, but first or like t-shirts.
Mm.
See,
Uh,
what bothers me is that there's no punctuation there. So it's but first coffee.
But first coffee.
yeah. Or the whole Dos Equis guy thing. Like, I don't like this, but when I do, it's whatever.
I don't always.
I don't
Has
always
that
do
been
this.
relevant in like the past 10 years?
No,
I don't know. I think it's like the.
the meme culture. I think.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Yeah.
like I think we like not me anymore. Like young people, we get this stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we got it. And then then middle-aged people, my age, we get it. We're like, hey, this is funny, and you guys are like, yeah, we're done with this already.
Yeah.
But then like I think it then like old people, like boomers, then they start doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's like ancient by the time they're like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I think we see it in Facebook a lot more,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
parents and stuff, grandparents are like, hey, and then meanwhile, everyone else like, this has been done.
When
your grandma's like, winter is coming. It's like, thanks,
Right.
Grandma.
Yeah.
when
I know
see-
you're really binged Game of Thrones this week.
Yeah. I'm glad you found out about the show that's about to end.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
when I see the elderly taking selfies, I just want to.
Oh, I think it's cute.
It's kind of cute.
I just think it's kind of
cute.
precious. There's Polaroids of my grandma that she's selfied with.
Aw.
I just think they're.
It's always the
wholesome.
two hands. You always see it's like it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's always like this, and you can tell. Just it's so funny.
And it's really high angle. Their forehead looks really big.
This is
Showing how smart they are.
They'll have the same profile picture like 50 times in a row.
Oh,
They
yes.
keep changing it to the same damn thing.
It's really grainy with pixels.
It just gets worse as you go on. Every once in a while, there's like a filter or a frame that you
Yeah.
put on there.
You could make a slideshow that's like the age.
It's got like the
the age
Vikings,
of the photo. Oh yeah.
like the Vikings logo. We could do it, kind of thing.
They did it today.
Yeah. But yeah,
Sports.
I never followed. Just
That one.
I mean,
any athletic thing. I'm just like, what? I don't know what you just said.
No.
Like,
You like football, or do you follow? No?
well, I try to like football, but I mean, my team is Jacksonville, so I liked football last year. I don't like
I'm not a
football
whim to
anymore.
talk about Aaron Rodgers. I was like,
Always root for the local sports team.
What I like to do is, because I don't follow sports either,
Okay.
but when
Yep.
people bring up sports, I'll be like, I'm huge into track and field.
oh my gosh.
There's no follow up question.
Okay.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna use that. Okay, I'm
Episode
ready.
title
This
is
is so
officially
good.
I'm huge
Oh my
in track and
gosh.
field.
I'm huge in
Uh,
the track.
That's amazing.
What you should do is now become an expert on like curling,
Right, yeah.
because it's such a niche sport, and just be like, nobody else is gonna know about this.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta sweep that broom.
Yeah.
You gotta sweep
Winter
it.
sports.
Yeah.
Winter sports.
There are
Yeah.
people somewhere out there that follow like snowboarding.
Yeah. I feel like there is a curling league in Sioux Falls. Like
Yes,
our friends
there
are
is.
part of it. Yeah.
Yep.
I got friends are part of it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Backstory:
All right.
my family's the reason curling is a thing, but Have I not shared that story on,
No.
on
Is
the
that all
podcast?
the backstory? Is that
No. Okay, so story time. So my great aunt Ruth was a professor and coach at Bemidji State University, and she became fascinated with the sport of curling. And she wanted to get a collegiate curling program started. So she started one at Bemidji State and a few neighboring colleges, and they started a curling, like an intercollegiate curling league. And she eventually got to the point where she introduced it to the United States Olympic Committee, and they started an Olympic curling program. And so that's the reason why the United States has an Olympic curling team.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
nice?
So
Damn.
basically, anytime curling comes up, I just take credit for it.
Nice.
Just-
There you go.
That's my flag.
You're welcome. Next
I
one.
like to call it witches hockey.
Which actually would make sense, because if you go back far enough in my ancestry, one of my ancestors was burned at the stake. She's referenced in the Crucible.
Whoa,
Yeah.
crazy.
What? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're fighting all about my family today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
That's
Eliz-
amazing.
so
So
wait,
I need you to get the fuck out of the apartment because I don't need this place to be haunted. But yeah.
Except I'm Sage and I'm here, so it's okay.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
we got Sage.
But
We're all good.
I gotta ask. And you can let us know. It's been long enough. Was she really a witch?
Let's just say I haven't gotten my letter to Hogwarts yet. So
Oh.
I just didn't choose you.
Well, you probably had to go to the
That's
crappy ass
my life.
American wizard school. Because they have them in all different countries.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
Probably.
that.
I assumed
Like
that the American
Thunder
one is
Tiger
not
or
very
something.
good.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's shitty as hell, and like
Yeah.
all the rich kids or all the rich parents can send their kids to Hogwarts because
Right, yeah. Yeah. The American one, they're still trying to do Common Core. They're trying to figure that out.
Yeah. I have 2 wands and then I have 3 wands. What the fuck does that even mean? Come on.
I can only use one at a time.
Next one.
Before Zach blows a gasket. Yes. Next one.
My family is the reason there's a safety warning on plastic bags.
Thanks, Lee.
Okay, I can't decide. Is the episode title going to be "I'm huge at track and field," or is it going to be "My family is the reason there are warnings on plastic bags"? I'm torn.
Track and field.
Track and field's pretty relevant.
Parentheses, safety warnings.
Okay.
What are some songs you love by bands you can't stand? Maybe.
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Probably come up with something. Yeah.
Sure.
Shoot. Try to think. Don't Trust Me by 303. Pretty dope. I hate that band,
Yeah,
but that
that
song
song
is.
is-
I actually do really like that song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in high school, they taught me by saying, "Don't trust Zach Dresch. Never trust Zach Dresch." I was supposed to be it was a hoe. Was the lyric. And then they replaced it with Zach Dresch, thereby taunting me.
Oh.
And this was too...
Actually makes less sense now that you've explained.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
You know, because I was a hoe.
Right.
You know what a hoe is? Let's just back
It's a
it up
garden.
even more.
It's a gardening
Oh,
thing,
okay.
right?
Oh, that's what it was about. Oh, okay.
I was known to garden
That makes more sense.
every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't know you were a gardener.
Yeah.
What is your favorite vegetable to garden?
Corn.
Really? You grow corn in your garden.
You didn't?
I think you're lying to me.
All right.
Why must you turn this studio into a house of lies?
When I gardened corn, I guess you could say I was a freak on a leash.
Oh.
You see, there's a metal band called Korn, and they have a song called "Freak on a Leash."
That pun is amazing.
That shouldn't have been.
How about a C+ tonight? This is like C-. Yeah.
That's what you get when you invite Justin Gray. You get C-, C+ show.
No, with me personally, like
Oh, okay.
my contribution to the.
Energy drinks.
Yeah, it's. Damn you, Monster and Bang. They're two different types. Ugh. I'll
Monster
sober
and
up.
Bang either sounds like the best or worst law firm ever.
Monster and Bang.
Yeah.
I would just go walk in just to see what's going on in
Hang
there.
out.
Just to see if there is like a
Show
giant
me what you do.
reptile at the front desk that's just like, "Welcome to Monster and Bang."
Right.
Scott Hoy's the receptionist.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
You just walk in.
boy.
Hi.
Hi, please stop. What? I'm not doing. Please stop. Security.
Then each security person is soft spoken, just like, "Hi, you need to leave right now."
You could have retold that story for the have you ever met a celebrity and didn't have an impact on you?
Oh shit. Yeah. So the Scott Hoy candle over there, for those of you who have not heard that story yet. So I go to the event where, as a fundraiser, he's actually signing the Scott Hoy candles. So I get to meet Scott Hoy and have him sign my candle. You know, I know, big deal, big moving up in the world. And anyway, go down to Zambros downtown, and I pick up my candle, and my wife is just like, "You need help with that?" It's like, no, I'm fine. So I'm walking up with the candle to the table where he's signing stuff. And other people are doing selfies with him and telling little jokes, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I gotta have something clever and sarcastic to say when I hand him the candle. Something clever and sarcastic, something clever and sarcastic. I get to him, and and Scott Hoy's just like, would you like me to sign your candle? And my brain is like, oh my god, you are totally bombing this. I'm like, He's like, what? Oh, okay, I'll sign the candle for you. So who do you want me to sign it to? And I'm just like, He's like, okay, I'm just gonna sign it. So then he signs it, hands it back to me. He's like, there you go. Thank you for money for children's charity or whatever they were raising money for. And I was like, and everyone, normally you'd say thank you at that point, and instead I'm just like so like in shock that I froze up that bad. And I'm just like I just slowly turn away with the camera like this, and it's just like my wife is standing like 10 feet away. She's like, "You fucking idiot!" I'm just like.
Funny story, my best friend actually works at Zanbro's. Her name is Alice. It's her parents, Jeff and Jamie, that own it. And I've heard the story about how Scott Hoy ordered like 300 of those fucking candles.
Oh,
And then
how could you not?
They would call him. They would, I don't know, contact him some way, somehow, and be like, "Hey, these candles we have for you, like all 300." That might be an exaggeration, but I mean all of them that they had ordered for him, and he just never came and got them or picked them up or anything. And then I think like 6 months later or something, he was like, "Hey, you have those candles?" It's like, well,
We tried to get Scott Hoy on our
We did.
radio show. It just didn't work out in the past. It was like right after the ad went viral on Fallon and all that stuff, and we're just like, we gotta get him, and then he just never responded.
But now, like, enough time has passed.
Yeah,
We
should
should
get him on here.
We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do this.
Get him on here. Yep. I feel like it'd be the weirdest episode. Just
The
like
fucking best episode.
You could redeem yourself.
I know. Unless the whole episode I'm like, eh. Zach's like, "Rob, you want to hit the start streaming button?" Eh. Eh.
there's videos of like a small turtle kind of doing that noise
Oh,
on a strawberry
yeah.
or something. That's kind of what it sounds like. I'm glad you know what that is. There's also tiny little frogs that just look like little marshmallows, kind of, and they just scream.
My favorite is the little mud guppies or whatever. They're like flopping around. And they have little heads up like this and giant mouths. And someone edited it so that they all have their mouths like wide open. So it's like someone edited it for everyone that's on camera with its mouth open. So it's like all these little lizards.
Like when you squish down on a pile of rubber chickens.
I just think it's like somebody presses down on like a pile full of gloves and it goes glove, 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 glove. That's what my humor's at right now.
I remember it's like one of the Chris D'Elia in this comic had a story about he shot a deer once.
Yes.
And the deer made the weirdest noise when it fell or like when it got shot. It goes, "Oh!" And I was just waiting for it to go, "Why did you guys shoot me?" Oh!
Jesus, talking about traumatizing you into never hunting again.
Yeah.
Shoot the animal and just like, Jesus Christ, why did they shoot me, man?
It's like,
Holy shit, did you see that?
whenever a deer hears a twig snap, it just turns and looks in one direction. Like, it's just, what? Like,
I almost hit one the other day, and that was
oh, shit.
In town.
rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like over like Sycamore-ish somewhere, like over
Oh, damn.
57th-ish Sycamore somewhere in those.
I was on the interstate, and I just missed it. It had just run past the interstate, and I just saved myself.
God,
It's
I'd
like,
freeze.
yeah.
I would just
I've
sit
been hit
there.
by a deer, but I've never. Okay, so I was driving along. I was driving down a gravel road.
Deer has a
'cause I-
car?
So the county hadn't trimmed the grass on the side of the gravel road yet, because it was nearing hunting season and you wanted to keep like the nests and everything. Anyway, so I'm just driving down the gravel road at like a nice 25, 30 mile an hour. All of a sudden, deer just darts out. It hits the side of my car.
Shit.
Yeah.
That happened to me too. It was like a pack of deer, so I was on a highway, and I just like almost came to a stop. And I was like, ooh, and then it just like keep running, and then one just like full speed straight in the side of my car, just smashed the door. Couldn't get the door open. It just kind of fell off and flopped around, and they got up and ran away. And I was like, oh.
Anytime I
I
see
didn't hit any of you. Still,
And this is how you repay me.
break my car.
I just think Tommy Boy anytime I see a deer. It's just
Yeah.
like if it's dead in your car and it comes back to life, it's alive! Yeah. Should we do one more topic?
What was the question?
Yeah,
I
I was
don't-
gonna. What?
What was it? I don't remember what it was.
Oh yeah.
That
there's
one
a-
thing you wish people would stop saying.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
Good.
totally, honored it and then some. Like,
We were very extra with that.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
and we
Extra.
we branched out to like meeting famous people. Like, I met Justin Pierre last month for the 4th time, and instead of saying hi, great to see you again, I said, doctor. I don't know why I said that. And he played along. He goes, doctor. So I'm like, cool. That's like, I wanted to say something besides like, hey, I'm a fan. Like, at least I didn't say like, hey, we can't keep meeting like this. At least I didn't say that shit.
That'd be great.
Yeah, he'd probably been like,
Contrary, you
what?
could say that.
It's like, what? Last topic.
Yeah.
Last topic and what's your shameless plug?
Yeah.
Alright,
Go for
perfect. All right. Do you believe annoying fan bases ruin the music?
I was an annoying fan base because I was.
Yeah, it was kind of a...
Yeah, skip it.
Skip that one.
Should end on a high note.
Yeah.
Most disappointing concert you've ever been to?
Oh. Gee. Fail it.
I put my foot in my mouth on that one.
What role does physical attractiveness play in our perception of an artist's talent? It's a little specific.
It was kind of deep too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that one?
It's up to you guys.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Sure.
Weird Al is hot.
Oh.
Oh.
You guys seen Uncle Cracker?
Yeah.
Not recently.
No. I met him last
you
week
know-
at a supermarket.
It's probably
I
the same.
met him at a... I
So
followed
what's
him.
Susan Boyle up to?
Yeah. I don't know.
What's the question? What role does it play in it?
Yeah, in
God,
perceiving an artist's talent. Let me see how I worded that.
why do you give them that as your file photo? Why, God? Why?
Oh,
Is that Uncle
yeah.
Cracker?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's him.
I think maybe the question means like, does appearance matter in getting into an artist's music or something like that? Something, does that strike you, or is it all
I
about
think it's more upfront.
more upfront? I don't know.
For a large part, like a lot of the music that I like branch out and discover, I have no idea what I had no idea what they would look like. I craft like into my own image in my head
Yeah.
of what they might look like. But
Yeah, I think it's an ironic thing with the age of the internet that it's like because everything is streaming and I don't rarely watch the videos to stuff. It's just like half the time I like, holy shit, that was a guy saying that. Oh, all right, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, like, so the 1975, you know, because
Yeah.
I'm at the age where I, like, if something comes on Saturday Night Live, that's how I find out about new stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Like you
and
do.
so I remember they came on, and I just was like, what is this? And
Yeah.
I feel like if I had heard them first, I would have gotten into them.
Yeah.
But because the guy just, like, seemed so kind of, he seemed very kind of like, I'm trying to be a rock star. Like,
Oh, sure.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, okay, we get it. Like, shirtless and leather pants. Like, yeah, it's been done.
Yeah.
All right, settle down.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'd seen him, if I had heard the music first, I might get into them. But then that could also be, like, if I was 19 watching that, I'd be like, well, this guy's really cool.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would agree. Like, persona has definitely played a part in me choosing to like get into a band or not. Like, if I just think, let's say the vocalist is, you know, a little too cocky for me, or just has like a personality that rubs me the wrong way, then I would choose to not get
Mhm.
into that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like a lot of the music I grew up listening to, like classic rock stuff, like Zeppelin, that kind of thing. I never saw their physical appearance. I just heard the songs embedded in my brain. The only band that I really remember physically seeing their appearance is Kiss. That was kind of an obvious, like, you know what Kiss
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like
Yeah.
kind of thing.
and really, wasn't that like supposed to be one of the driving forces when The Voice started? Was to try and eliminate that sort of bias.
Yeah.
And go purely
Just
off
with
the
The
talent.
Voice, yeah.
Because you heard that a lot with American Idol. Like people would say, well, you just don't have like the image, you don't have the look of like what it takes to be a star.
And if you look at it, some of the choices for American Idol winners, Ruben Studdard, Taylor Hicks,
The Silver
Like-
Fox of Soul.
Soul Patrol. He looked like this guy you'd see at a donut shop. named
Lita
Gary.
Wise. Lita Wise is a big one.
Yeah.
Is it Ryan Seacrest on American Idol? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he tried to shake a blind person's hand?
Oh, that was hilarious. He was just like,
Oh yeah, that shameful pullback.
yeah.
thought you guys had developed senses.
Shoot.
Can't you smell my hand coming towards you?
I've seen Daredevil. I know how this works. Ninja Star. Oh, buddy.
I really think that is more of like a modern issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I remember like when I was younger and I was getting into like kind of like they'd call it dark wave now, but it's all goth. But like Echo and the Bunnymen and
Oh sure, Bakir, stuff like
Bakir,
that.
stuff like that. Like part of the draw was like, oh, these guys look really cool, you know, i.e. they don't look like all the bros that went to high school with.
Same with like the punk aesthetic in the late 70s, like Sex
Yeah.
Pistols and the Ramones, that kind of thing was just kind of like, oh, like their appearance. They just wear jean jackets and jeans and
Right.
play rock music. That was kind of the
Yeah.
thing.
Like my parents don't like that, so I do.
Yeah.
If they looked like
Yeah.
your parents, you would probably not listen
No.
to
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Or at least, you know, you wouldn't tell people. You might go back and throw a little Paul Simon on, but you're not gonna. That's not what the T-shirt you're wearing when you're walking around.
Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense.
Another band that interesting, we talked about this last episode, Greta Van Fleet. I actually have grown to like the band more as I've been listening to them more. Like, the singer looks like a douche when he sings, though. He just does this whole raise my hands up in the air, like, can you be more like Robert Plant? Like, rip off. But the songs themselves, I like them. So it's just like people say they're blatantly ripping off. Like, who's to say they just get influenced by it? Mm-hmm. At least they're writing their own material and not co-writing with, like, songwriting producers and stuff. So, I don't know. It's like when you hear them, like, not knowing anything about them, you're like, is that a deep Zeppelin cut? And then you're like, oh shit, that's
That
Greta
happened to
Van
me on the
Fleet.
radio. I was driving. I was like, "This is a really good Zeppelin song," and that was Greta Van Fleet. God damn it! Fooled again.
It is well. They're interesting because all of the stuff that people say about them, you know, is the exact same things people were saying about Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin,
They're saying they're
critics
ripping
hated
off
them.
Moody Blues, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it is kind of interesting, but it is also weird because they're also kind of like reinvigorating guitar music, which is more or less dead.
Yeah.
But it's doing it by kind of resurrecting 70s guitar music.
Yeah.
So it's not really taking it anywhere forward.
There was also a similar thing 15 years ago with the garage rock, with like the Strokes and the White Stripes, with all that stuff.
Right,
like,
yeah.
The thing was to look disheveled and look tired and look
Right, yeah.
long hair, but like you just woke up from a 5-hour nap or something like that. Like that was the thing.
Yeah.
I could go for a 5-hour nap.
Oh, it wouldn't. but yeah, it's just kind of, I think if you play along with the trend, sometimes that works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't, and then that's what leads to your success, kind of thing. So I feel like if there's another band that tries to dress like Greta Van Fleet, they might do. I don't know.
Yeah. But this is way off subject, but isn't it weird that we call sleeping something different if it happens during the day?
I think it's a time constraint. Like, I would consider 5 hours of sleep.
Oh, sure.
That's a bit more than enough.
So you would
That's
say,
asleep.
like, even if it was new and I'm going to go sleep for 5 hours, you wouldn't
A
consider
nap,
that
I think, caps out at 3 hours.
Oh,
3 hours?
No.
I would say like 2, I think, is maybe.
4.
4 hours nap?
Four. You know, like, yeah, I'd say 4 hours. That's when the nap turns into that. Just you going to bed for the night.
So if you go to, like, let's say it's like 2 in the morning, and you're like, I'm just going to sleep for an hour. Is that a nap?
yeah.
That's a nap.
You know,
I'd say that.
Yeah.
So the time of day doesn't matter at all. It's just the length of time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's also the circumstance of your working conditions. If
Right,
you work
I
at
was-
night, if you're a night stock person and you sleep during the day, that's kind of. I'm gonna nap at 4 a.m. Probably get like you said, just like yeah. Also, total another off subject thing. If you see people when I work at Hy-Vee, if you see people during the day, they're way more upbeat and like friendly. But then the night stock people just don't want to speak to anyone. Just like,
It's
like
dark.
where's the Frosted Flakes? Meh.
They always get
Yeah.
really, after the lines get busy, they always get really pissed when they get pulled off stocking to go like
Yeah.
run the registers. I hate when that happens. And, like,
Brian, help check.
he comes in, he's just swearing
Yeah.
under his breath, and he's just like, I'm sorry.
I like.
Don't be
I'm sorry.
mistaken. The day crew does that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't show it. Like the night crew, there's like
They
all.
don't have to care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like they're the most honest employees that Hy-Vee has because they're like smiling every hour.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, as long as I
There's
get
a
this packed, I'm happy.
Pain
Internal.
in every
Yeah.
lane.
I like that better.
And there's the title of your show.
Pain in every lane into track and field.
Hey,
Yeah.
works.
Oh,
Running-
like, yeah,
running your
running your
lane
lane.
Yeah.
Full circle. Joy Machina.
So,
I think that's a solid closer.
I think that was a solid closer.
So before we conclude the show, we do shameless plugs. If you have things you'd like to promote or talk about, we'll go around, and if you have something you want to share,
Cool.
something coming up, cool projects, anything like that.
I mean, I don't have any projects. I have a Twitter if you want to follow that. It's just Rare Beanie Baby.
Great title.
That is a good.
that was
That's a
good.
really good one.
Yeah. Robert.
It wasn't taken.
I know. Like, how? When did you sign up? Like 8 years ago?
No, like I changed my handle like 2 months ago or something.
I have Instagram and Twitter. I do poetry on there. RH Swaney on both. And then coming up, I'm helping some authors, some local Sioux Falls authors, put out some books. So in the next week or two, if you follow those socials, I'll be announcing some of that. So
Cool. Justin.
Got nothing.
You perform comedy, open mics,
I'll be at the
bosses.
bosses for the next like couple weeks until school starts up, and then
Yeah.
I'll be gone again.
We'll come check out Justin.
Yeah,
Bosses.
you can expect exactly this level of.
Ryan, David.
Yeah, so I'm directing Oleana by David Mamet through Monsters Little Theater Company.
Nice.
Really, really fun show. So it'll be happening.
That's what people always say about David Mamet.
Yep.
Yeah, as always. David Mamet
A
fun.
lighthearted romp with David.
Exactly, yeah. And that's happening January 1st through February 2nd at the White Wall Sessions at last
Oh,
time.
nice.
So, yep.
Sweet.
That's all I've got.
Robert, David.
Podcasts. I've got them. Come check them out.
You want them?
Yeah, I've got them. You want them. All at thesioempire.com. And then a special shout out also for, our sci-fi mystery horror anthology podcast that's coming out in 2019. Edge Case. We are still taking story submissions on that. So, we're going until January 1st, and then I'm going to start casting stuff. So, get your drafts in, or at least something people have been asking me if they can send in a story but they're still like editing it or whatever. That's fine. Just let me know you've got something coming, so I don't go, nope, I'm giving this slot to this guy. The story's shit, but I didn't hear anything from the other guy. So anyway, long story short, I never in my fucking life thought I would be an editor. I can barely read, so it's kind of terrifying. But yeah, so Edge Case coming in 2019. Check it out.
Perfect. For me, 3 of my bands have shows coming up in the next month and a half, and I'm in 4, so it's it's gonna be a busy month. My Blink-182 cover band has a show this next Saturday at Biggs with Minagog. It's a Dungeons and Dragons themed band.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
And a band called Skin of Our Teeth, Xavier Pastrano, been on that show. And then Disarmed has a show New Year's Eve. It's our return show after like 6 months off. We have a new lineup we have not announced yet, and I don't know if I should say it tonight. Probably not, just to be safe. But we're now a 5-piece. I'll just say that instead of 4. So pretty fun.
Ooh.
And then new band Absent Idols, newish. We're playing next month with Skin of Our Teeth, and Man Seeking Mountain, and a new band called Worst Case Scenario at Phoenix Lounge. $5 for 2 people. So I have tickets for that too. And stand-up comedy in Watertown, January 11th with Skylar Bulks and Timmy Williams from Wise Kids You Know.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And sleeping otherwise. Not napping. It's 8-hour.
Oh, and I believe this is our last episode before Christmas.
Yeah. So happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Kwanzaa.
Go watch Die Hard.
Every
Yeah,
holiday.
go watch Die Hard.
Go watch Die Hard. That's the best Christmas film.
Happy Life Day to our Star Trek, to our Star Wars fans. Star Trek fans, I don't know what the hell you celebrate. New Orville coming out soon. That's a thing.
Patrick Stewart still alive
Yes,
and
Patrick Stewart is still alive. Celebrate that.
celebrate.
It's gonna be a Picard series.
I know,
I can't
but
wait.
how are they gonna do it and not fuck it up?
I don't know. You know what? I'm there for the ride. If it was just Picard, just like sitting in a rocker.
That's
talking,
true.
I'd be like, all right.
He's just hanging out at the winery, getting like drunk out of his mind and yelling
Yeah.
at his brother. I'd just be like,
Yeah.
down with that. So,
Storytelling for kids,
Yeah.
like he reads like The Ugly Duckling to a bunch of kids, just like reading that. It'd be
except
so
all the
awesome.
kids at the winery burned to death or something in generations. That
Yeah, right. Like, is everyone dead now? Like his whole
So
family?
in the future, apparently tragic deaths are still like remarkably common, like even more so than now. You get that? Like in the future, it's like you had a fucking house fire. Like
Right,
this is
yeah.
like 400 years in the future, and they're still like, oh, the chateau burned down, and a bunch of kids were. You don't have like better fire. You know what? Tangent, and we're ending the show. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. Because I was gonna say, but weren't they like anti?
Winning.
Weren't they kind of Luddites?
Yeah, they were kind of Luddites.
So maybe that's what happens. That's the.
And you let kids drink that much wine through the whole day, and you're gonna have problems.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
On
I
that
think I
note,
missed something.
Huh?
I think I missed something on that one.
Yeah, you've been
Lots of
listening
really
to.
fucking deep cut Star Trek references.
Yeah, we'll fill you in.
Well,
And they'll
that's-
say, "I wish you didn't fill me in."
That's most of the time.
Please stop.
Smart boy. On that note, Justin, Robert, Sage, thank you guys for being here tonight. It's a good time. And Ryan and Robert, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to
The
Dresch
Code.
Code. Code-ish. Code.
And many more.